Hey folks, welcome back. We are going to insert a mini lecture in between 3 and 4. We're going to call it, between 2 and 4. We're going to call it 3, but it's only going to be a small lecture. My director pointed out I didn't talk about independent contractors, which I wanted to do. Remember that K in lawyer parlance stands for contractor? So independent contractors are a segment of workers. Now, what is an independent contractor? An independent contractor is a person that performs a job that is not an employee. Why would you want independent contractors? Well, number one, you don't have to pay a minimum wage. Number two, you don't have to have workers' comp. Number three, you don't have to have benefits. There's a lot of real good reasons why a business would want to have independent contractors. But in California, now it is becoming more and more difficult to have independent contractors. For example, remember we had a bill passed the California legislature called AB 5. AB 5 essentially says you can't have independent contractors if those contractors are doing what your business normally does as a matter of course. For example, if you're an Uber driver, AB 5 says you're an employee, because what's Uber's job? Uber's job is to give people rides. And how do they do that? They do it by having drivers pick up people and take them somewhere. That's an essence of Uber's business. Now, Uber is going to court to try to overturn this, and Uber's trying to do an initiative in the next election to overturn this as far as their drivers are concerned, and Lyft is joining them, and so is DoorDash and Grubhub and all those other delivery people. But anyway, AB 5 says that it is very difficult, if not impossible, to have an independent contractor who does something that's integral to your business. So, one of the things that people look at is whether or not the independent contractor is doing something that's a part of the business. For example, if I as a lawyer come into a business and help them prepare a contract, the contract may be integral to their business, but I do that for a whole lot of different people. If I only did it for one company, I may very well be an employee of that company. And actually, some companies do employ lawyers. So you've got to say, what are they doing and how integral it is to that business. One thing I do want to point out, back when we had our intellectual property lectures, we talked about if you hire an independent contractor to prepare something for your business, like a brochure, like a photograph, like an outline of your business or what you're doing. If you have a written agreement with that independent contractor that whatever the thing that they prepared for you belongs to you, then it does. If you just have an oral agreement, then it belongs to the independent contractor. Intellectual property belongs to the person who creates it unless there's a written agreement that gives it to the person who paid for it. Okay? For example, if you hire a photographer for your wedding, and that photographer takes a whole bunch of pictures, those pictures belong to the photographer. They may sell you some for your wedding album, but the pictures themselves belong to the photographer, and they can do what they want to with them. If you want to make sure the pictures belong to you, get it in writing. Okay, folks, that's just a brief little interlude on independent contractors. I'll see you in a bit for the next lecture